Okay, this is the Sam Auxier Jr. show, and we are coming to you live this trip. So this is not pre-recorded. So everybody that thought it was pre-recorded before or recorded live, no, it wasn't. Today we are live. So and we have a real special guest here. We have my brother Rick Auxier from Florida in the nice warmy sun, whatever it is. So anyway, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, enjoying the exceedingly hot weather.
Yeah. let's let's make sure we're flying here. So yeah, we're flying. I think we're going. We're good. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to get that out of here. Yeah. Right. Let me get out of here. Okay. All right. Okay. We're here tonight. We're going to talk about the Balwani car. We get a lot of requests uh, wanting to know all about this car. So anyway, where it arrived from, delivered from, and we have some interesting facts about it. A good many people know that the car originally was Tasca Ford's car, and it has a long list of history of how it got to me and then got back to Bondi Long and then got to Todd Warner. So it's got a lot of miles on it, believe me. So anyway, and of course Rick remembers this car very well. Uh,
Yes.
had a 427 high riser in it, and anyway, it was the number one car, serial number car, number one Holman and Moody built Mustang, and they picked it up on January the 22nd from Holman and Moody in 1965, and they took it to John Healy drove it, and who's no longer with us. But we have they went out to the world champion deal at Tulsa, Oklahoma with the car. I don't have any other. I'm sure they had some match races and stuff that they ran. I don't really know, but the car itself went to Tulsa. And hold on one second. I got a little bit of echo in here from somebody else. Yeah, if they would please turn down their computer. Uh, anyway, uh, we or they came back from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and took the car straight to back to Holman and Moody, uh, and that was October 31st, 30th, 31st. And so when it got to Holman and Moody, somehow it wound up in um, Bondi Long's hands. Bondi Long, as probably most of you know, uh, he was a NASCAR guy, uh, and he was very heavy. He had Ned Jarrett as one of his drivers, and I think Larry Frank was one of them also, and I think he had a couple other ones. I don't really know all of them from there, but some way we all finagled a deal that we wound up with the Bawani car. So that name, uh, Bob Fry has uh, been on my case to know what Bawani actually means. We have two of the names, so we don't have the third part of it that I can remember. I got it written down somewhere, but I couldn't find it for this show. The first one is obviously Bondi, B-O. W-A is Walter, and N-I is anybody's guess right this second. But
Nikki DeLong.
is it Nikki?
Yep.
Okay. I should have asked you first, you know?
Hey,
I mean, what the hell's wrong with me, you know?
such a wealth of information.
I'm telling you, just can we even get more of it, you know? But anyway, we wound up with the car. Worked out a deal between Bondi, The car was never owned by us, meaning the Auxier deal. My dad ran the circuit at that time, and we did quite well with the car. Car was phenomenal. And today, the car is in down with Todd Warner down in Florida. What's being done to it, I don't know. It's supposed to be restored. And as far as I know, it's still waiting to be restored. I don't know if it'll ever be restored, but it's a fantastic history of a car. We won quite a few races. Our best win was, of course, the Cars Magazine meet against Bill Jenkins, and that was lucky or whatever. Anyway, we we won, so it was great. So, and I don't know. Let's see. We got Emily Sponsello on here. Hi, Uncle Rick from Haley and Dalton. Is that you?
Emily and Joe and
Is that
Haley
Emily and Joe?
Dalton.
Emily?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. You can probably, I don't know if you got your screen on or not, but you can probably pick up some of these. But anyway, as you can see, I'm going to bring up. I want to bring up some pictures. I'm going to hide this for a second. Our comments, and I'm going to bring up. I want to bring up some pictures here. That somewhere here. Okay, this is the car. I believe we must have painted that car because this is a different color here. So, for whatever reason, that one there. Now that's a full screen picture. Unfortunately, I was too lazy to go in there and clean these other pictures up. They're very old, and so anyway, and that car had a number 23 on there. I guess it was Bonnie Long's number for the stock car, the deal. So I don't know, Rick, or what?
Yeah, that corresponded with what they were running in NASCAR.
Right. Okay.
And that's Chick's car in the background.
Yeah, it is. And also, this is, if you notice, it's Bawani 2 on here. So Bawani 2, and Bawani 1 was one of the funny cars that was stretched nose car. So it was sort of a funny car, the beginning of a funny car. And so that car, and let me see here. I got some other pictures here. Now, this was the original. This is the original Tasca car. Same car, same serial number, all that good stuff. So, quite a deal. And I hope Todd will get the car done sooner or later, and hopefully not later. But of course, if he'd answer his phone, we could probably get an update on that. But he don't answer his phone. So anyway, we got that car. This was one we can thank Jack Red for this one. I don't know if Jack Red is on here or not, but maybe he is. So this is the front cover, Drag Times, and that's actually this particular picture or magazine at that time. The picture there was the meet, the Cecil County Cars Magazine meet. So cool. I still got the original copy of that. This was another good deal. This picture is very popular. It's been around forever at Capitol Raceway. So that is black and white, and there I've seen no color ones, so that's the best we can get there. And like I said, I'm too lazy to clean it up, make the picture wider. Okay, and then we're going to go on to uh, the best part. Now
There
you
you
could
go.
wait a minute. I cut it off.
Come on now. You
All
need to
right,
leave
I
it
was
up
trying to
there.
trick you. Look how young you are there.
I even had hair.
Yeah, you had hair. Jeez, this is crazy. You know? Can you remember this picture?
I remember this picture well.
Yeah, because that girl's standing next to you. That's why you
I
remember.
I
Yeah,
got to brag to all my friends.
yeah, I bet you did. You know?
Did
Yeah.
I? Do you remember beating Jenkins twice?
Yes, I did. Uh, let me fix this damn thing here. Um, yeah, we had that crazy rule where if you ran out, you would whoever ran out would lose. You know?
Well, yeah, but you both ran out.
Right. Yeah, that's right. We did both run out.
You both ran out, and when you come back to run the second time, there is no run out. Whoever gets there first wins.
Right. Right. Yes, that was my glory day of that. So uh, that was great. There again, black and white photos. That's how far back we go. So that one. And what's the other one I got here? Somewhere. No, that's all I got of that. The other pictures I got is Rick uh, when he was young. You know. So
I'm still younger than you.
yeah, by a couple of days. That's all. Yeah. How old are you now? Oh, you don't have to answer that. We're on
I don't care. 68,
68. Yeah, nice.
as I'm in Florida.
Yeah, keeps you young in Florida. You're younger in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Let me see what comments we got here. Uh, this one says, "How old are you?" No, it didn't say that. I was just kidding. Let's see. Carol, she's on here. Says, "Only on show, not on page." What does that mean? YouTube looks good also. Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. YouTube is working. All right. And I hate to tell everybody, but from 2018 back, all my shows were live. Okay. And this is the first show since we started back that really is live, and all the other shows were pre-recorded. So, and I know people would like, you know, make a comment like I would see them, but I really didn't see them. Okay, let's see, Rich. Rich, I need to pronounce your name right. Panicaro. I didn't spell it wrong. So, how will the car be restored, as Bawani car or Tasca? Well, I hate to say it. It's going to be restored as Tasca. Uh, it's obviously more history with Tasca than it is with me, you know. So, um, and that's all right. I'm okay with that. You know, I wish it would be the other way around, but you know, we have to do what we got to do. So, and I think probably Todd figures it's worth more as Tasca than it is me. So, who knows? Um, all right, what else we got here? Is that the same Tasca car they raced at the Superstock Nationals? Yes, it is. That's from Dustin Cottrell. Cottrell. Yes, it is the same car. Um, they only had that car. You know, we only had that car for a year, and they only had the car for a year. Um, so for whatever reason, you know, we passed it on. Uh, somebody says, I think this is for you, Rick. Okay, here we go. Let me get this one here. They're popping through here quicker than I can catch them. Uh, Same car. Okay, here's one. A race fan, 1973. Sam, what was your favorite car from your career? Oh boy. I have to say the '69 Mustang probably be my favorite. That one is probably um, got the most publicity than any other car. It's and to tell you how soon that is, or how late this has happened. 2018, we had a 5-page CarCraft magazine, one of the last printed copies of CarCraft, did 5 pages on that car by Eric English out on the West Coast. So I have to say that car. But there's just any number of the other ones that the Bawani car that obviously was next to that. And what do you think, Rick?
That was a good. The '69 car was fun. Didn't we win Cars Magazine meet that year too, and two in a row?
Yeah, 2 in a row, and that was against Jenkins too. So
Yeah, they
yeah,
beat Jenkins and Sox.
yeah, it was good. It was the car was just awesome, and it was a good looking car, and I'm glad it got restored. Unfortunately, we have some other endeavors. We won't go too heavy into that one. That don't seem to be getting restored or restored correctly, or will be restored correctly. So, bit of a disappointment type thing. But let's see. Dustin again said, very cool. Have a video of that York race. Very impressed with how hard it left with the wheels in the air at that time. The guys had your hands full driving them back in the day on those tracks back then. Yeah, you're right. The the worst or the hardest driving car was the Pinto. Quite obviously, I mean it was wild. You, our younger brother who would go to the races with us too and do whatever, and who is no longer with us. He unfortunately died about 6 years ago. So, but anyway, uh, the Pinto, a wild piece to drive, just crazy. Uh, whatever happened, Rich says, whatever happened to the Pinto? Well, it's just was sent to North Carolina. Uh, I really wouldn't. I'm not going to get involved with that right on this show. Uh, there's some hard feelings about it. I'm not going to rehash the problem with it. So that was a Don Hardy car. That was number 4 car. Just a, it was a fast car. It was had a little wheel alterations and things that were a little tough on, you know. Uh, the NHRA had a little bit of a problem with it, but anyway.
It probably wouldn't pass the NASCAR spec today.
Yeah, right. You got that one right. Yeah. Um, but anyway, actually, to add to the Pinto, Don Hardy Jr., who contacted me, he really wanted the car, and because he has some of, not some, he's got the Glidden's Hardy car also, I think a 73, 74, can't remember. But anyway, he's got one of them. He's restoring that car. And he also has one of Sox and Martin's cars that he's restoring to make it back the way it was when they actually when Sox actually raced that car. So, and he was the ideal person to really put it back like it was. There's certain Hardy built every car different. Okay, and Hardy knew exactly the differences between all of them. So, and to duplicate that, I don't know. It's going to be difficult because unless you got the pictures or the patterns or whatever for the aluminum work, it's just not going to happen. So anyway, it is what it is. Also, let's see what else we got here. Rick is older when HW flies to Maryland. Who's HW? God. Oh, Lord. Let's see. Rich. Okay, what else we got here, guys? I'm going to go through this. We're going to get on Rick here in a second. So, looking, Kathy Sponsella says that you're looking good. See, well, he's old. He's all right, you know. Let's see. YouTube is working good. I don't know. This actually, okay. This tells me, there it is. Alex Weist is in the comments. Okay, in the comments. Okay. Well, I don't know where it is in the comments here. But we got quite a few going here. So, okay. All right. Let's take a moment and let's flip over to Rick. Rick, when did you start racing?
When did I started racing in 1970.
The 70?
Started pit crewing for you in 65.
Yeah, that's right. God, that
And
really shows your age, doesn't it?
I know. I had a Boss 429 Mustang waiting on me when I turned 16.
Oh yeah. God,
Sat in the garage for 8 months.
collecting dust, boy. I tell you, what a killer disaster that thing was. Jeez.
And progressed to the Boss, and then we went over to the 71 car, your old 71 Pro car.
Let me see. Hold on a second. Let me see if I got it here. Oh crap! I didn't get it off of there. All right. Okay. Well, let's. Before we progress, let me hit you with this one here. There you go.
That's the 70 car. At Gainesville, after they did away with, or they added B and C super modified.
Right.
And we went to Gainesville. If you notice, there's no air scoop on the car.
Yeah, that's right.
And we had the old tube like the Thunderbolt hoods had, only we didn't need a hood like that.
Right.
And we went to Gainesville. We ran that car all over NHRA. Tim Sergei was the main pit crew. Joe Sponseller helped.
Right.
On the Mustang, and we won class 4 times. Indianapolis, Gainesville, Columbus, the Spring Nationals, and Bowling Green, Kentucky.
There you go. You were killing them.
And then we came home from Columbus and won it. Todd Mack had a modified circuit. It ran at MIR and Maryland National Raceway.
There you go.
And Colonial Beach, and we'd run one Saturday and one Sunday.
Wow.
We won Columbus, came home, went to MIR, and won the race that weekend at MIR.
Okay, and that was with the Cleveland, though, wasn't it?
That was with the 351 Cleveland.
Yeah.
Single carburetor of 750 or smaller.
Right. Now, that was the one. Now, tell them what you did with the spring towers.
Well, this car started out as a Boss 429, and we ran the car in Super Stock C for a number of years. There's, I'm sure you've got a picture with all the guys standing there. It says Super Stock C on the window. And when A Super Modified came to be, it was like, wow, this is great. We can go A Super Modified racing. So, as with anything, you want to try and stretch the rules. We put a Cleveland in the car, following the guidelines, except that a Boss 429 has spring towers that are modified. And they're lower and they're scalloped. So we got a body man that actually I think you worked with him before.
Yeah.
And he came out and we had bought a pair of spring towers from the salvage yard. And he came out and he sculpted the used towers to fit over top of the 429 towers. And then we tack welded them and bondoed just the tower to the side of the 429 tower. And that took care of that. What nobody knew except a few people, such as maybe Dickie Estevez or some of the other Ford guys, a Boss 429 car is 1 inch wider frame rails than a 351 car. So we had our things cut out. We used to do things. We would leave off the Trans Am bar that would cross from Spring Tower to Firewall to Spring Tower. We'd leave off the catch can overflow. And there was one other thing that we did just so NHRA would find something wrong that we could fix in a matter of 10 or 15 minutes. Once they found it, they were happy, and we went on to race.
Right.
So we won Columbus, and for anybody can remember back that far, which was back in 75, we beat Larry Nelson in Jegg's Chevy 2 at Columbus. There was 8 cars. And so we won Columbus and come home and won MIR. But at Columbus, we had never won at an NHRA race. So I got done. I won, get to the scales, and the guy goes, who was that? Ricky Barrett says, okay, pull the head off. Do what? What do you mean pull the head off? Well, you got to pull the head off. We got to check the cubic inches. I said, why don't you just pump it? Oh, no, we got to pull the head. We had no head gaskets. We had nothing. On top of that, the headers were questionable because Cleveland has a bad ramp in the exhaust port. And that's what the Jack Roush used to cut the side of the head off and put a high port plate on it. Well, we did the next best thing, which was we had tongues welded in the headers that reduced the size of the port and raised the floor so it wasn't a big turn. So we dropped the headers, covered it up with a towel, and pulled the head off, put it back on with the same head gasket, and went out there to run on Sunday. We had the hood off, and these 4 guys walked up and looked, and they were like, hey, Joey, look how much space he's got between his spark plugs and the spring tower. And I yelled over to Tim, put the hood back on the car real quick.
Oh, God. Well, that's you got to keep one step ahead of them, because they'll look for something to get you on, So,
oh, yes.
Yeah. So the other venture, let me get that on here. We have let's see, we got one other one. Let me show this one here just for a minute. That was early on because the car was just that blue. That was a Boss 429 blue is what it was.
Right. That was the original color of the car.
Yeah.
That was at Maryland International Raceway. And I think Yeah, that's a super modified. That's the weekend after I won Columbus and came to Maryland and Nashville. The car in the other lane is John Bray out of Colonial Beach or Chesapeake Beach, I think.
Right, right. Okay, let me go to the next thing here. All right, we're gonna. This probably will surprise some people, and maybe not. But we've got one here. This is at U.S. Nationals, and that's obviously a dragster. So tell us about that one.
That is when NHRA came out with A Econo Dragster, similar to A Super Modified. And there's nothing economy about Econo Dragster. This is the first car I had. This is an ex alcohol dragster. We bought it. That was the premise of NHRA, is that people could take these prior cars like a dragster or a double A alcohol car or something like that and build these econo dragsters. This has a Cleveland, again with the same issue with we couldn't run high port heads, but we put the Cleveland out of the Mustang into this and went racing in an A Econo dragster. This was actually at Indy. I do not recall the year.
Long time ago, that's when it was.
Oh, it probably at least 10 years.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Can't tell who's in the background.
Yeah, right. Can't tell either. No. Okay. All right, we got a new comment up here, I think. All right, Grabber Blue. There you go. And you're right, it is Grabber Blue on there.
Yes.
Rich says, nice job, Rick. And Rich, Sox and Martin Colt. I believe it was a Colt that Hardy did for Sox and Martin. Yeah. So, and that was, God, I don't know if was that the one that crashed or what? What was that? It is.
I think it was.
Yeah, I can't remember.
No, it wasn't the Colt. It was a Mustang, because it had a John Casey Boss 500 or 600.
Oh, right. Yep, you're right. Right.
And the sump pump hose came off.
Right. Yeah.
Or broke or something to that effect.
It came apart. The pressure.
And Ronnie took a wild ride.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he spent a day or two in the hospital too. But yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's get back to the brand here. I think we've gone through all the pictures, I believe. Yeah. I wish I'd had the 71 in here. I don't know why I didn't have 71. Anyway. All right. Does anyone else have any questions about any of these cars? Okay. Randy. Hi, guys. Ronnie crashed a black Mustang, if I remember correctly. I don't know. Black Mustang? Doesn't ring a bell. I don't know he ever had a car that wasn't red, white, and blue.
I think what they're referring to, I think Ronnie drove a short period of time for Dean Thompson out of Ohio or Michigan.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It was black with yellow stripes.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember him crashing that one.
Right. It was definitely the Colt that he crashed.
Yeah, he had the Colt, and he had a Mustang after the Colt.
Yeah. Well, we go back so far, we get this vague memory of everything. So, oh God, uh, Colts and Pintos have been a handful. Yeah, Colts and Pintos are a handful, no doubt about it. It's such a short wheelbase, crazy. Uh, and maybe we'll shift some gears here. You got anything else to add, Rick?
Well, we built the Hardy car. I don't know if you we built it for a manual shift 5-speed.
Yeah. Well, we wound up being able to do either one of them, a
Yeah,
Lenco or a 5-speed.
It was built for a Doug Nash 5-speed or built for a Lenco.
Yeah, and then you discovered Sam ain't gonna drive no 5-speed in that thing.
Yeah, that wasn't really happening with the 60-foot times being extremely low.
Yeah, and
it wasn't pointed in the right direction. It was a real handful.
No, Bobby used to tell me, he'd say, don't you realize how sideways you are in the lights when you go down? I said, no, I don't realize it. And all I'm doing is hanging on. That's all. And, but he says, you've got to notice you're sideways, can't you? I said, no, I can't. Crazy.
Well, Joe Sponseller used to tell me that all the time in the dragster.
Right.
And he'd come back or I'd come back or he'd come down and get me and so forth. And he'd go, why didn't you back out of it or pull the chute? I said, well, what are you talking about? He said, we were in the right lane. And he says, we were standing there and we could read all the lettering on the right side of the car. I said, you're kidding me. There's no way in heck. I said, I felt it a little out of shape, but not sideways out of shape.
Crazy.
Sideways out of shape was when I spun the 71 car around at 75 and 80. Testing the transmission for Doug Nash.
Right. Yeah. There you go. For Doug. I told this story the other night. I was on Andy Wood's show, and I told this story, and very few people know it, but the Doug Nash 5-speed came about because we used to sell a lot of Doug Nash parts. We used to sell a lot of Doug Nash transmission pieces that had the dog gears welded onto them. So the Doug would soften the gears. He would put it on a lathe, cut the synchronizer section off the gear, and then put a dog gear on there. And then every other on the sleeve, the synchro sleeve, that would be every other tooth off of there. So it really made it very, very easy to shift and without missing a gear in it. So anyway, Jim Kerr used to come in the speed shop in 1970. This was 71. Jim Kerr came into the speed shop, and we sold Mopar gear sets and Ford gear sets and some GM gear sets. They were weak, so not many people ran that particular transmission, a T10 or one of those. But anyway, so Jim Kerr comes in. He was our rep for Doug Nash gears. So he came in one day, and we did a lot of business exchanging these things. They'd bring in the set they wanted, and we'd give them a reconditioned set, really. So anyway, Jim Kerr comes in one day, and he says, Doug Nash has a blueprint for a 5-speed transmission. And but he don't have any money. And he's really said, he's just, he's gone to his dad worked at Ford and he had gone there, couldn't get any money there. Tried with Ford, couldn't get any money. Tried with every bank, everything in the world with him. So anyway, we said, well, how much does Doug need? And he said $72,000. Well, I don't have to tell you, $72,000 in 1971 was a ton of money. And so my dad wasn't there at the time he walked in. So I went to him and I said, this probably doesn't work. But anyway, Doug Nash he's got blueprints for a 5-speed. But he don't have any money. Same story, no money. So Dad at that time said, well, I think he had some real estate deal that he was coming up with. And he says, so I'll have the money, but we need to fly to Detroit and see what's going on. So, a day later, we were on a plane to Detroit. And so we get there and we go over to the shop, and it's like immaculate. Perfectly beautiful, clean. So anyway, we get there and we go over to Doug's house, and Doug has a train collection that is on the entire wall in like the living room. And so the train collection is massive on that wall. So and then Doug says, well, I got the train collection in my house and I don't have anything else. And I'll never forget, my dad says, I'm not in the train business. I'm not in the train collecting business. So he said, and he said, I really don't want your house. I'm not going to take your house. So anyway, they did basically a handshake deal, and they did a contract, but of course there was no collateral, so it really wasn't going to matter. But Doug, he worked at it. He paid it off, and hey, everybody went away happy, and he was that probably literally saved his business, because he was at that time he was 6 months behind in bills, and everything was doom and gloom. And so anyway, I'm really proud of the story. We're both proud of the story that my dad could do. My dad could do that, and Rick's dad could do that. And so it went on from there. And I think a couple of years the 5-speed was in the Corvettes, I think, for a couple of years. And so it turned out to be one of those stories. And he moved the operation to Nashville, or not Nashville, but to Kentucky. Franklin, Tennessee, right? Not Kentucky. Well, I keep wanting to say Kentucky. I don't know. But anyway, so quite a story. Most people don't know it, but it was big time there. And Larry Davis says, I remember your great race at Bristol when you ran a high 9 ET. Yeah, I can't remember, but I'm glad you did. But anyway, let's see, what else we got? Nothing but respect for you guys. Awesome story. Okay, well, I think we've answered everybody.
The Doug Nash deal was, he was in Detroit. Of course, we were in the Washington, D.C. area.
Yeah.
And a lot of the testing, they would throw a 5-speed on a plane, Northwest Air, and send it down to us. And Tim Sergei and I would run down to National Airport, pick it up, take it back, put it in the car, and take it to 75 and 80 for whatever day it was, because Bill Wilkham would let us in. And we take it up there and test it for him and let him know what transpired and so forth. And mainly at the time we were using it as a 4-speed, but it worked out well. We ended up putting in 71 cars, a 5-speed.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it really worked out great. I mean, for so many, whenever you're talking about racing from a Ford top loader or a Mopar, all those transmissions were heavy and they were gear ratios. I mean, most of them sucked, and so it was really just it was a life saving for guys that needed a better ratio gears. So, but that's the way we did. Um, anyway, we got a little bit of news come out of NASCAR today that Denny Hamlin, I guess he had a domestic issue, and I haven't read it myself. Rick's seen it, but something crazy that I guess he really didn't need that in his life right now. But anyway,
yeah, his wife, who it sounded like she walked out on him today. It didn't make any keep anything private. She was tweeting to whoever and on another social media that Denny Hamlin was abusive, and she told the whole world about it.
Crazy.
So, I don't know where that's going to go. I remember Kurt Busch got accused of that, and he couldn't race for 4 weeks or something.
Yeah, well, Denny will be racing. Don't worry about it. He's their pet. Oh God. Here we go. We got some other questions here. I thought we'd run out of steam, but we haven't. What do you think of the modern day version of Pro Stock? Oh God, no, I don't like it. Being something that we're talking about having so many bulletproof situations where you can hardly not miss a gear. You can't miss a gear in one of them unless you just break the trans. And with all the computer stuff on there, you're constantly up against the rev limiter, and so to me it's just. And then you can put a Ford and a Chevy and a Chevy and a Ford. What is that? I don't even get it. For what?
I didn't hear about that part.
Yeah, you can put a Ford and it doesn't matter. Put a Henry J in there or something. But I don't like the way it's run. I don't, and I don't know. They're not going to do anything about it. I don't think. But as Bob Fry said, he said if we could put a 4-speed in them cars, we see a whole lot different results. So I'm thinking the same thing. Let's put a 4-speed in there, see what happens. So it'd be a whole lot different situation. So
yeah, take the computers off the cars. Let the drivers
take the computers off. That's right. God, let them get in the real world here. Let's see. Here's NHRA has ruined Pro Stock. Well, that's you're probably right about that. Now, what the heck was the other one here? Do you have any of your old cars? Unfortunately, Randy, we know where every car is except the 64 AFX Common. And I explained that on the story, on the Andy Wood's car, or Andy Wood show, not car, Andy Wood show, the other night, Monday night, Tuesday night, whatever it was. The car, we had crashed that car severely out on the highway as we approached Cambridge, Ohio. I don't know if y'all, I guess I could spin that story here. We had the 64 car, and I think I got pictures of it on Facebook. But we, short time after getting involved with the 64 Comet, my dad supplied us with a F100 Ford. It was a pickup originally, but it had a utility body on it. So he supplied it for us. And it was me and Dick Corm and Bob Griffith. Well, Bob Griffith never drove to the track. He always drove by himself to the track, not with us. And so anyway, we said, well, we'll go to Indy this time of year, and I think it's this week, isn't it? So anyway, we start out. We had a old piece of junk trailer that was literally junk, and so anyway, we start down the turnpike, going to from going to Indy. We start down the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Well, that didn't tow very well, so we get off on Route 40, and we're gonna tow the trailer there. So we're putting away at 40, 45 mile an hour. So we're approaching Cambridge, Ohio. And as we approach there, I look in my rearview mirror. There's a car carrier about, I don't know, quarter mile, 1,000 foot, whatever, behind me. And so as I approach, I see two kids and a lady crossing the street, trying to cross the street. So on my right side, and on the left-hand side is what was like a McDonald's. It wasn't McDonald's, but anyway. So I'm heading down there. I see the lady and the kids, and in front of me on the other lane. Now this is 2-lane highway, two different directions. So there's a semi coming the other direction, and at the last second, I hear the horn and the brakes, and the guy that passed the car carrier truck broadsided me, knocked me off the road, and I thought the trailer had gotten the lady and the kids. I mean, literally, it was so close. And anyway, the trailer hits a culvert, and the car does a flip up in the air like you wouldn't believe. And it knocks the corner off of a billboard sign. That's how high in the air it went. So when I got out the car, I mean, we knew that had gotten the two kids and the lady, but it ran right in front of them. I mean, right, literally, the lady said that the trailer just came right by their feet. And so anyway, we gathered it all up, put the car into a U-Haul trailer. These older couple had left York, Pennsylvania, and they were on their first day of their trip, on a vacation trip. So needless to say, this was not a fun day. And so anyway, we take the car, put it in U-Haul, and we're going to take it home. For whatever reason, I don't know why we went on to Indianapolis. I have not a clue why we went on to Indianapolis, but we went on there, I guess, to see whatever after that calamity. So anyway, so we got it back home. I had a guy. I worked at Jack Blank Pontiac downtown DC every day, and at that time, I got a hold of one of the body guys and had him fix the car. It took like 4 months to fix it. Of course, our 65 was on order, so that's a whole nother story for another day. So anyway, let's see. We got one last. Let's see. Race fans, 1973. NHRA is letting Mountain Motor Pro Stock run at certain events. Yes, that to me is what pro stock should be. Well, I think the last time we dropped off, that's probably what it was. And of course, they put the 500 cubic inch limit on it. To me, they should have knocked it down to 430 or 450 and kept it more in line with something you could get pieces for, maybe a little cheaper. But it's just gone crazy money wise. And, trying to keep it from tire shake and all these various things, it's just sad to say. It's out of whack. So anyway,
we should get Todd Mack, and he can do his Mountain Motor Nationals again.
Yeah, that's right. They were
a fun time. Big crowds, lots of money.
Yep, I know. God, it's crazy, So anyway, not to be. So anyway, things change rapidly, and oh gosh, we're out of time. We've spent an hour. I can't even believe this. I was going to do a 20-minute show, but I guess we're a little longer than 20 minutes.
Do I get double pay or what?
Yeah, the check's in the mail.
Okay.
Do we have a place to order merchandise? I'd like to order some. Well, unfortunately, we need to load up the merchandise again. So, I don't know. I got to tell you, things are changing rapidly as we speak. I have a deal tomorrow with National Arts Television. We're going to do a deal down at 75 and 80 at the track there. And of course, they already have preloaded questions for me. So anyway, they'll let me know. But we're going to, that's a whole nother deal there. So that's something else we're doing. And I think we got a deal coming up with the Barrett Jackson. So that's going to be a fun thing there. And I've never been to Barrett Jackson. I've been to, the other one, but not that one. So, all right. Anyway, did you drive, Sam, did you drive for the Polaris racing team? No, I did not, Andy. No, never did. So, anyway.
Well, I got one last thing.
Okay, go ahead.
To all you veterans out there, thank you for your service.
Yes. And, okay, I'm not going to get into this other deal. So we'll be here all night. We'll have a fight on Facebook. They'll throw us off. They get through with me. All right. Yes, we do. And remember that, and remember the other day. So paybacks are going to be hell. So, all right. Okay, guys. It's been great. We thank you. And until we meet again, we'll do it all over again. See what's next. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.